Welcome back to Beyond the Silence, Whispers Across America. I'm Sammy, and tonight we are traveling to the heart of the Bluegrass State, to a town that has become synonymous with unsolved mysteries and a chilling string of tragedies. Bardstown, Kentucky, in a place known for its historic charm, rolling hills, and world-class bourbon, there is a thick, unsettling darkness that seems to have settled over the landscape like a permanent fog. It is a series of interconnected, violent crimes that have left this close-knit community looking over their shoulders and speaking in hushed tones. We are looking into the 2016 death of Tommy Ballard, a man who became a national symbol of paternal devotion and a tragic victim of a mystery that was already tearing his family apart from the inside out. This is the story of a father's relentless, exhaustive quest for the truth. A quiet morning in the woods turned into a nightmare, and a single, precise gunshot that silenced a voice that refused to be quieted. The year was 2016. Tommy Ballard was 54 years old, a man who was deeply respected and perhaps even a little feared in Nelson County for his legendary toughness, his grit, and his unwavering commitment to his family's honor. For the previous 16 months, Tommy's life had been entirely consumed by a singular, agonizing mission: finding his daughter, Crystal Rogers, who had vanished without a trace in July 2015, leaving behind her car on the side of the Bluegrass Parkway. Tommy was the engine, the heart, and the muscle behind the search. He spent every spare moment clearing dense brush, searching remote fields, and personally putting up hundreds of signs across the county, refusing to let the community, the media, or the police forget that his daughter was still out there. He was a master of the outdoors, a skilled hunter and woodsman who felt more at home in the Kentucky thickets than anywhere else. Tommy was a man driven by a father's primal, unstoppable instinct to protect and provide answers for his family. He was effectively the primary investigator of his own tragedy, a man who was getting dangerously closer to the truth with every rock he overturned and every lead he pursued, which made the events of a cold November morning feel less like a freak accident and more like a cold, tactical elimination by someone who felt the heat of his investigation. The mystery began on the morning of November 19th, 2016. Tommy had woken up before dawn, as he often did, to take his young grandson hunting on the family's private property near the Bluegrass Parkway, the very same stretch of road where Crystal's car had been found. It was supposed to be a bonding moment, a brief, much-needed respite from the heavy cloud of Crystal's disappearance. As the sun began to crest over the horizon, casting long, skeletal shadows through the bare trees, a single sharp shot rang out through the crisp autumn air. Tommy was struck in the chest by a high-caliber bullet fired from a significant distance. He died instantly, falling in the presence of his grandson in a moment of pure, unadulterated horror. There were no other hunters authorized to be on that private land that morning, and no one was seen fleeing the area through the undergrowth. The initial report from the scene was a potential hunting accident, a stray bullet from a careless hunter, but those who knew the property, the height of the brush, and Tommy's own expertise knew better. The shot had been terrifyingly precise, fired from a professional vantage point that suggested the shooter had been lying in wait, perhaps for hours, for the one man who wouldn't stop digging into Bardstown's darkest and most dangerous secrets. The investigation into Tommy's death was immediately clouded and complicated by the context of his daughter's ongoing case. The FBI and the Kentucky State Police took the lead, recognizing that a man being shot on his own private, secluded land, while actively and aggressively investigating a high-profile disappearance, was statistically improbable as a mere coincidence. Ballistics experts analyzed the trajectory of the bullet and the entry wound, concluding that it was a long-range shot, likely fired from over the fence line of the property by someone using a scope. Despite a massive, weeks-long search of the surrounding woods and the intensive questioning of local persons of interest, the murder weapon was never found, and no arrests were made for years. The chilling precision of the hit and the specific timing of the event suggested a professional level of surveillance and planning. Someone knew exactly where Tommy would be that morning, and they knew that by taking him out, they were removing the most vocal, persistent, and dangerous advocate for Crystal Rogers. As the years stretched on, the Ballard family was forced to endure a double layer of unimaginable grief: a daughter missing and a father murdered, with both cases seemingly tethered to the same shadowy figures and criminal undercurrents in Nelson County. The investigation into Tommy's death eventually led authorities to look closer at the associates and family members of Brooks Houck, Crystal's boyfriend at the time of her disappearance. In 2023, a major breakthrough finally occurred when several individuals were charged in connection with Crystal's case, and court documents began to hint at a sprawling conspiracy that extended to the silencing of Tommy Ballard. The ambiguity of the case for 7 long years created a reign of terror and silence in Bardstown, as residents wondered if even speaking up about the Ballards would put a target on their own backs, highlighting a deep-seated systemic fear of a local criminal element that appeared to operate with total impunity for nearly a decade. The death of Tommy Ballard remains a haunting, pivotal chapter in the Bardstown saga, a reminder of the terrifying lengths to which some will go to keep a secret buried in the Kentucky soil. It stands as a testament to the incredible courage of a father who sacrificed everything, even his life, for his child, and a family that has refused to break or be silenced under the weight of unthinkable compound loss. Tommy's signs still dot the landscape of Nelson County, weathered by time but still standing, now representing 2 people lost to the same pervasive darkness. The woods where he took his final breath are quiet now, but the echo of that single cold shot still reverberates through the hills and the halls of justice in Kentucky, waiting for a final resolution. I'm Sammy, and I'll keep telling these stories because someone out there knows something, and for people like Tommy Ballard, silence should never be the end. The truth remains just out of reach, and the shadows around this case only grow deeper as the legal process slowly unfolds. Someone out there knows the final pieces of this puzzle: the who, the how, and the why. And one detail could finally bring this entire house of cards down. What do you think is still hiding beneath the surface of this small-town conspiracy? Drop your theories below. Even the smallest clue or remembered observation can spark the final breakthrough a family has waited a lifetime to see. For more chilling mysteries and untold stories, tune in to Beyond the Silence, Whispers Across America on all major podcast platforms, or find us on Facebook. Until next time, listen closely, trust your instincts, and stay safe.